Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tango here. Today we are in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania on our ride back to South Carolina from our upstate New York trip that you just saw a few videos ago. Pretty excited. This is where Abraham Lincoln gave his Gettysburg address and you know, his famous speech of the 7 years ago. So we're gonna get out here, see what kind of awesome stuff they have. I'm super excited. This has been a bucket list of mine for many years, and yeah, we'll see what we can see. Yeah, it's detailed, amazing. All right guys, follow me. Oh, beautiful. Got the cemetery over here. Not entirely sure if we're gonna have a chance to walk through that. I hope we do, but yeah, this place is pretty freaking huge. Imagine fighting up in this crazy desolate area here. Just mountainous terrain. Coming to this monument here. Let's see what it says. Occupied this position July 3rd, 1863. Mustered into service June 15th, 1861. Mustered out of service July 8th, 1865. So these cannons were some of the early field guns that they would have used in the Civil War. They're freaking traversing the knob down there and everything, and man, they've kept these in some good shape. Made out of wood and steel. Number 877, 1865. How cool is that? We're gonna go up there and look at those little monuments and stuff there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm in freaking Gettysburg. How cool is that? One of the most prolific battles were fought right where I'm standing. We're gonna work our way around here. As you can see, we've got a lot of people out here, but we'll get our stuff in between, walking between them and everything. Thank you for sticking around. Like I said before, those 2 months that I was in hiatus, just need to, you know, get on this vacation, recharge the batteries. Work has been tough, but to my audience and my subscribers, I appreciate you sticking with me. We're in Gettysburg together today, so that's pretty cool. Well, I'm gonna keep walking, and we'll see you guys at the next awesome thing.
Always over here because of the shade.
Yeah, I feel that. It's a pretty cool little house. Some cobblestone stairs here. The well over there. And it's a pretty cool house. Pretty cool house. Very old. Right after you look at the house there, and we're going to come to these monuments over here. If I didn't delete it, that last one, the clip, I got a phone call in on accident. So this is for the 6th Pennsylvania Cavalry, the Lancers. Pretty much on duty as escort for the Major General freaking George G. Meade, Army of the Potomac, erected by the survivors of this regiment, which is pretty cool. The main body of this regiment during the 3rd day of the battle were actively engaged on the extreme left flank of the Army of the Gettysburg Pike, where a monument has been erected commemorating their services. 4 companies were specially detailed by General G.O.G. Meade for hazardous duty on the rear of Lee's army. That's pretty cool. So that's Robert E. Lee's army, 93rd Division, New York Infantry. So how cool is that? Is real people that we learned about in school that were here. Okay, so this was the headquarters of George G. Meade. I think that's how you say Meade. Commanding Army of the Potomac. There was this little house that he stayed in. New York Cavalry General, Maids Escort, and Headquarters Orderlies and Couriers, Army of the Potomac, July 2nd and 3rd of 1963. Man, what a way to commemorate the guys that died out here and all the crazy stuff that happened here. I'm literally standing on a hollow battleground where some men just didn't make it back home during a crazy battle that, you know, some argue was one of the bloodiest freaking wars that this country has ever been in. There's no argument there. It's absolutely true. More Americans died on our own soil than now don't quote me on this, than the freaking World War I and World War II combined. I don't know if that's exactly true, but I've seen it where written places and stuff like that. So yeah, crazy thing to think about. We're gonna get up this hill here, look at these couple other monuments they got going on, which is pretty cool, and just enjoy our time here at Gettysburg. Pretty cool we're in Gettysburg. To the 2nd Pennsylvania Cavalry, he's holding a pretty cool little flintlock carbine there. He's got the saber. That's usually how you can tell who was in the cavalry and who wasn't. The regiment held this position July 3rd until the close of the day, when it conducted 3,000 prisoners to Westminster, Maryland. Detachment served on other parts of the field during the battle. So that's pretty cool. On to the next. Look at the meadow that this overlooks. It's insane. You got your old style cannon howitzers here, your first adaptations of the field guns that we used in World War II. Is a Army of the Potomac, our Artillery Reserve 1st Regular Brigade. July 1st took position on the grade crest of hill near General Maids headquarters, which is where we are. Moved July 2nd, moved to a position on the right of the log house on a Emmitsburg Road on the line held by Brigadier General A.A. Humphreys, 2nd Division, 3rd Corps, and became immediately engaged, but compelled to rewrite with the loss of 45 horses and killed a 4-gun and killed fucking asshole. With the loss of 45 horses killed and 4 guns captured, which were soon afterward recaptured. July 3rd, went to position on the crest of the hill at the left of Evergreen Cemetery and near Army headquarters, and there they remained until the close of the battle. Casualties killed: 1 officer and 8 men wounded, 14 men missing. 14 wounded, 14 men, and 1 man missing. So that's pretty crazy. This was the hill that the artillery freaking put their stamp on. Cemetery being out that way, the house being down the hill that way. What we got here? Please ignore the wind being at the top of this hill here. Major General George Cordon made. United States Army Commander of the Army of the Potomac. Born December 31st, 1815, died November 6th, 1872. So this guy was pretty old by the time the war started and didn't live very long after it ended. But pretty dang great freaking monument to commemorate the old guy. 39th New York Infantry. Joe Baldy Guards is what that says. Regiment composed of 4 companies, held this position July 2nd and 3rd of 1863. 70. So there's a stone tablet over there that marked where this incident occurred, where they had to regain the control of guns on this hill. Casualties killed 15, wounded 80, totaled 95 men. So that's pretty crazy. So this is the Army of the Potomac here. 12th New Jersey, 10th, 108th New York Infantry. So this is the tablet that that monument was just talking about. So on this position, they captured, says that there was 6 officers killed, 55 men wounded, 34 officers and 245 soldiers captured or missing. 1 officer, 25 men, total 366 Confederates captured and or wounded or killed. Right here at this position, overlooking this giant meadow. If you ask me, that's pretty dang cool. I'm gonna keep on trucking down this way. We've got a bus with people on it coming down, so that's pretty cool. We're gonna go ahead and get out of their way. I'm just gonna keep walking. With the wind here, I don't know how much you can hear. Sorry again, I should have put my mic boom on there. Pretty cool old cannons here. 1864 field guns. So this was a battery. Originally, Battery K, 1st New York Light Artillery. 11th New York Battery Attached Artillery Reserve. So these guys would have been on top of this hill firing down on this field here. So this is pretty much just a big monument to the Army of the Potomac here and their cavalries and their freaking artillery spots. Gettysburg Cyclorama. Standing there at the spot in 1882, French artist Paul, I don't know how I pronounce it, a professional painter hired to create a cyclorama on Gettysburg. Imagine the chaotic scene of July 3rd, 1863. The defending cannon and rifle fire, the shouts of men and the shrieks of horses as fury of the final battle unfolded. 4 months he sketched, talked to veterans, and hired local photographers. That's pretty cool. That's him there. Then I'll paint a picture of the battle itself. That's all the men that served in the Army of the Potomac. And you got your cannon ball carriers here, and you know your, I'm sure, freaking black powder for your cannons and a bunch of other things. It's a cool little reenactor there. Apparently this is where the artillery battery was, and this is where the big battle took place across this field here. Sorry again about this wind. Didn't start until I crested this hill, so I had no clue it was going to start. But we're going to get over here and look at some other stuff real quick. Alexander Stewart Webb. From 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., ominous silence blanketed the field. Union infantry behind the stone wall waited uneasily for what might happen next. When the Confederate guns opened up, these soldiers hunkered down to avoid the murderous iron. So talking about that wall right here. So pretty much General Robert E. Lee of the Confederates decided that we were going to freaking move on the Union men who's sitting here behind this wall at 4:30 a.m. on July 2nd. And as you can see, this little diorama here, we're here where the Union Army was, and then the Confederates were out here ready to pounce. So you could see how important it was that the Confederate Army did not crest this hill and make it down behind where the Union soldiers were battling. And out there, here's the wall they were hiding behind. And then a few hundred Confederates were able to monetarily pierce the Union line on Cemetery Ridge. They were soon engulfed by Union soldiers near the stone wall. So that was pretty much our last dying efforts out here at Gettysburg. How cool is that? Got a pretty cool tour bus out here. So that's pretty much the last dying efforts here on Gettysburg for the Confederate Army led by General Robert E. Lee. So that's pretty cool. We're gonna keep walking, people. See y'all guys in just a bit. Alright, Watermark of the Rebellion. Repulse of the Longstreet Assault. In recognition of the patriotism and gallantry displayed by the respective troops who met or assisted to repulse Longstreet's assault. The following states have been contributed to erect this tablet: Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio, Michigan, and Minnesota. It's pretty much all the northern states that were engaged in this crazy, 4-day battle out here. Can you imagine it though? Beautiful. Another early 1862 field gun here. Alright, we're gonna keep on walking. We have there goes that house that we saw in that picture back there. That big giant field right there where that bloody battle was going down, right through here. You can see the mountains in the background. 42nd New York Infantry, the Tammany Regiment. As you can see, there's a Native American, a brave if you would, up there next to his teepee. So obviously we had them working with the Union also. Total enrollment 1,210, participated in 19 battles. 92 were killed, 328 wounded, 298 were missing. And damn, that's pretty crazy. The Tammany Regiment. July 2nd, 1863, went to support of the 3rd Corps. About 5 p.m. held this position July 3rd and assisted in repulsing the assault of Pickett's division. Casualties: killed 15, wounded 55, and 4 just went mysteriously missing somehow. Tammany Society and of the Union Defense Committee of New York City. So we even had some Native Americans assisting in this crazy civil war that was going down in this part on the East Coast here between the Union and the Confederate soldiers, and it all went down right out there. Isn't that crazy? All right, so I'm gonna keep on walking. If we see anything super badass, I will totally show it to you. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Really very curious about what that is back there. We'll make it though. Looks like another statue for a cavalry leader, erected by a congressman to commemorate the service. Oh, sorry. to commemorate the service of that portion of the Army of the Potomac, composed of cavalry, artillery, infantry, and engineers of the regular Army of the United States in Gettysburg Campaign, June through July of 1863. Here goes the artillery regiment here, kind of like a Washington Monument-esque type thing. The artillery, consisting of 26 batteries, was distributed over the field among the several Army corps and placed in position where their service were most needed. Casualties killed from the battalion of U.S. Engineers was 12, 159 enlisted men wounded, 62 officers, and 861 enlisted men missing. Enlisted men wounded was 159. 861 enlisted men were missing, 6 officers, and 207. It's just weird how they word that, but you can read it. But I'm gonna keep walking because we still got a long ways. Still a incredible freaking monument to these guys out here that fought. Some, a lot, apparently died bravely out here. Whether you were a Confederate or a Union soldier, you know, that was neither here nor there. You were still an American, and you know, it's just crazy that we had to go through that time in our history to you know, come to where we are today, which is in a good place. I think we're making some good headway. John Gibbon Memorial there. Bet you're wondering if I had any family that served in this. Being from South Carolina, I'm not entirely sure if I did or didn't, to be honest about it. Like, I never heard any stories growing up or anything of that nature. Old house over there, still pretty cool. But you never know what your family history is and stuff like that. So I know we've been here in this country either right before the Civil War or right after. So, you know, I really couldn't tell you. We're making our way on back here towards this big monument they got there. Who's this guy? 13th Vermont Volunteer Infantry. First Vermont Brigade. He's got a big old monument overlooking the battlefield there. So just a little bit of brief history on what we're looking at here. Battle of Gettysburg fought from July 1st to July 3rd, 1863, is considered to be one of the most important engagements in the American Civil War. After a great victory over Union forces at Chancellorsville, General Robert E. Lee marched his army of Northern Virginia into Pennsylvania in late 1863, and on July 1st, the advancing Confederates clashed with the Union Army of the Potomac, right there on that field. So that's pretty cool. We're gonna keep walking up here. Look at what this big old giant monument that I see people standing at the top of is. And yeah, it's pretty dang cool. They have every division, and no matter whether it's Confederate or Union, memorized out here. You know, something in their memory. Got the old howitzer cannons, the old freaking field guns set up there. People are standing at the top of there, so I'm gonna go try to get up there. Man, the myth, the legend himself there, Abraham Lincoln. Go up these stairs. In honor of her sons on this field who fought for the preservation of the Union. So you got Washington. Here goes Gerald Meade. Greg. Got a sick beard going on. Bernie and Hancock there. As you can see, it's got a pretty sick little dome. I'm gonna go up these stairs here.
Waiting for you guys to catch up. I could have been
Some people
down
coming
tonight.
down, so give it just a second. I'll take a video. Can't see too well, but I got the spiral staircase here leading us up and around to the top of this monument at George Washington's, or George Washington, I don't know why I keep wanting to call him that. Abraham Lincoln's right there. Tiny little stairs here. Alright. Maybe the top of the first go. This is all copper. That's cool. How cool is that? Looking right over the freaking battlefield. This is exactly where the Battle of Gettysburg happened, right out here. Ain't that something? Pretty cool. Fat Bud is a little winded, but look out in the direction that way. There's a cemetery they were talking about, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. We just walked from all the way over there. Gerald Maid's house was. There goes T. Hey T. Oh my god. Little overview of the battlefield here. We're going to descend ourselves. Oh, back down this spiral staircase here, which has many shadows and dark spots. So we're going to try not to break our asses.
Yeah, gotta be careful.
Got to. Came to Gettysburg today. Definitely a bucket list freaking thing. Had a great time looking at some of the places that some of our family might have potentially fought. Definitely a great time going to the top of the monument and everything. It was super sweet. My buddy Joe here. Always fun to have him along. Y'all know him. But thanks for sticking around, guys. Freaking Gettysburg. We finally made it. So we'll see you guys on the next one. We'll find another great place like this. And we'll see you next time.